Mike, I was really hoping our boy Carlos would just give us a little bit of, insight to what we were going to see on the film, but I'm not sure I've seen a lot of Basham from Basham. And I think little, foresight, but I think you agree with me. But how you doing today?
I'm doing good. I'm going to have to agree with you. Although I will say, as we get into the stats and background, there was a lot of bashing going on in 2019. He looked like, in my opinion, a completely different player from 19 to 20. In 2019, he was listed at 275, I believe. Came in this past season 285, and I read reports that he was up to 291. So you might think that there's not a problem with that, but my problem with it was I didn't really see that translate in his play. He didn't look much stronger. He just looked a lot less quick and a lot less explosive. So I'm like, what did you think? At least I know you primarily watched the 2020 film. What were just kind of your general thoughts about what you saw here from Basham?
I don't know. When I first, I was excited. I've heard of him. His cousin's in the league too, so just the name itself, like, and it kind of funny when watching his cousin Terrell Basham, like his whole thing was, just pure athleticism, was very raw, like had a good first step and couldn't do anything with it. Um, and I thought I'd see something similar, just a good athlete, and that is not what I saw. The first step was not there. A lot of players we've already looked at, like I said, like you see it kind of in occasions. Very few occasions that I see it from Basham that his first step was something that really stood out. On top of that, he didn't have great technique. And then, okay, when that doesn't work, what's your kind of your go-to? Like, strength, 285. You should be able to do a nice bull rush. Not what I saw in film. So it's like, what are we really sticking to here? And kind of one thing you see that like the total tackles 57, 64 in the sophomore junior season. I think I saw a little bit of that. He a couple times, whether the running back went to the other side or just kind of made a cut through the middle. You'd see linebackers kind of chasing from behind, but Basham would come out of nowhere. So and make a play. So just pure effort and motor. He has some of that. So um, I'll try to make him sound a little bit better than instead of just trying to bash him. You know what I'm saying? But I think he made some good effort plays, and speed might be there, but acceleration and burst, I'm not too sure about that.
No, I agree, and it's kind of a shame because his nickname, I had to look it up there for a second, but his nickname is Boogie. You'd think a guy with a nickname Boogie Basham would have a little bit more juice behind him, and he just didn't. And my question that I was kind of asking Mike before this is just what makes Basham special, and I just don't know. Even after watching 5 games, I can't figure it out. I just to personalize this, I don't want to make this about myself, but it's like of all the guys we've watched this point, I would 100%, if I had to pick one to block, it would be Carlos Basham. You look at what Aziz could do with his hands, rounding the edge, all that stuff. You looked at Quiddy Pay, just his punch, his hand placement, consistency. It was great. You look at a guy like Rousseau, those long arms. How are you going to get into him, motor him? Jalen Phillips, that short area quickness. Where's he going? B gap, C gap. You don't really know. Basham, I just don't know. I don't know what that sort of defining trait is that makes him special. Besides, kind of like Mike said, he had a pretty solid motor, and that was really about it. Obviously, that's a little bit too harsh because I do think that he's still sort of that mid-round guy, but I just didn't see what I thought I was going to see, especially after watching the 2019 film, because I did think in 2019 he looked significantly better. I thought that playing at that 270, 275 range, just that he kind of looked more like Jalen Phillips, I guess you could say, where he was more of that initial first step quick guy. Whereas now he's lost that, but he hasn't gained much else, as I kind of already said. So I graded him out as a 69.5. As you can see, really none of the grades outside of a little bit of hand usage and motor are super high. So, Mike, as you look at my grades, do you have any problems with those in particular, or what?
No, not at all. I think that's right where he belongs. There is a position premium. That speed will probably translate to pretty good, pro day are usually, combine numbers and which usually says raw, but I just feel like we have better raw prospects. But in the late third round, late to mid third round, it's when it starts getting dicey. And um, at that point, you're just trying to fill a hole. And I think he could do that. I think there was certain flashes where um, he can be a little bit versatile um, and play the position. And maybe there's something there. I don't know. It was just weird to see. I don't know. The acceleration, I think, is just more important. That's why when you look at a 40-yard, they also separate the 10-yard split because that's what you're going to be running 10 yards. You're not going to be running 40 yards as a D end. And I just don't feel like his would be that impressive. I don't know. I think that's probably where it belongs, but it's kind of a head scratcher.
Well, and then he came out in an interview the other day and said that, they asked him, what are you hoping to run in your pro day on March 31st? So, this video might be out by then. I'm not 100% sure, but he said he hopes he runs a 4.5. Personally, I was hoping he ran like a 4.7. I don't see 4.5 guy. I know, Mike, you said sort of downfield speed was maybe there, the straight line, but at least in terms of that initial get off, I just don't quite see it. And it's frustrating because I did see signs of it in 2019. I guess that's my problem with him. And they added this weight. People are saying, oh, could he play 3 tech? He's not really strong enough to play against college tackles. There were so many plays where he was getting walled off by tight ends, and it just frustrated the heck out of me. I'll be honest. Like, there's no reason a 6'2", 220-pound tight end from a small school in Carolina should be walling you off. And it was happening on a pretty consistent basis. So I just don't know what to do with Basham. As you said, there's a premium on the position. Obviously, that would probably bump his grade up to about a 73 overall. But yeah, I think still in that early third round, maybe late second, if you really think you can kind of get him back to that 2019 form. But no, Mike, you would agree to this point that of the 5 guys we've done, he is, as of right now, the bottom one.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. And I don't think it's relatively close. I think the other four have quite a bit on him currently where it sits. I don't know. I just wish I had something to hang my hat on, and there just really wasn't. Um, so other than you can get probably later round value like that. That's about it. And it takes less draft capital to get a player like this. But if the end was a position of need, I'd really be trying to get one of those other four. I think there's a big gap. I think this is by far the biggest gap so far that we've seen.
Yeah,
So
I agree with that, no question. I wish we didn't have to bash him as much as we might have, but man, it was just frustrating because I do think that the potential is there. The size is obviously there. 6'3". If he is 270, that's pretty good size. There was flashes of athleticism, but man, just left a lot to be desired. And people were talking about him potentially sneaking into that late first round, and no, that's a no for me as well. I always say that everybody that we're grading has a place in this league, no question, but that's just not the right value for my man Basham, in my opinion. I don't think that at that point we're talking about just no. We're talking about another one of those guys late in the first round that ends up being forgotten in a couple years, like we so often talk about, let's say the Seahawks or the Eagles, teams that pick these more high ceiling guys. I don't even know if Basham has that high of a ceiling to be taken in that range. So yeah, I just hope that for his sake and for your teams, I hope that he's taken more in that middle of day 2 than anything else. So with that being said, Mike, do you got anything, or are we getting out of here?
yeah, if you guys have liked these videos, on the videos, if you see that like button, bash them. See that comment, bash them. You see that subscribe button, bash them, because we enjoy doing this. And we're not always the nicest. If you think Basham really is the best, the end, let us know. Just bash the comment section, and we will probably bash back. So if that's not enough bashing, I don't know what is. It's exciting. We enjoy doing this. Hopefully, you guys enjoy doing this. Maybe watch it after the draft, after your team drafted Basham, probably way too early, and then lose all that little confidence you might have had, and then hit that like button. So I think that's about it. I think we probably mic'd up. We micing out.
Peace,
Deuces.
guys.